Hello again, everyone. Another random product review, or actually two bags we're going to review today. But first, here's my cat stroller. We actually have two cats. We take them out to the shopping malls to have them acclimated to human beings because we want to be able to fly with these cats at some point in time and not freak them out on an airplane or have them meowing a lot. So, this Burned, that's BERND, that's the brand. This is a pretty good stroller. We actually have another one, but it only has one cabin. But this one, obviously, you can hold two different cats and they won't fight each other or, stuff like that. And this bag will actually remove, but I've had to zip tie it down to keep these bars straight. That's the one issue there, but, the zipper cover works and all that stuff. I've also added some black fabric there to not freak out this scaredy cat that's down inside of here. But when we go shopping, if you have two cats, you don't want to put a bunch of random shopping bags in this thing with the cats. So I've been using this just cheap, like a dollar store bag and hanging it off the back of this thing. And then also I just got these things. They're pretty good. They're just Velcro straps and you can cut them to length, but as you can see, as I cut them to length, the Velcro is not stuck to the fake leather anymore. Anyways, I'll leave a link, but if you cut it, the stitching, these things are like $1, maybe $2, but it comes with a metal carabiner, and I cut off the extra so it's more flush. Anywho, this little drawstring bag, it's just kind of hard to get into stuff. So, two new bags just came in the mail. This first one is just a super cheap mesh bag, and it's got the bottom is sewn, just that length. The top, though, is elasticated, but you can see through it and see what contents you have. And then it seems to have these straps that have these plastic hooks. This is a little bit concerning because if you put too much weight in there, I'm pretty sure these plastic hooks are going to break. Unless you wrap this nylon strap a few times around, then the strap will take the majority of the weight, I assume. But ultimately, you have to take that nylon hook and hook it into this, and that's how that's supposed to work. So, first we'll see if this works. Let me come back after I have it on the cart. Alright, so there it is strapped on. Now, this is probably originally designed for baby strollers, so it wouldn't have this thing probably sticking out there, but you can still manage to get around things because it has 4 straps, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, of course. And here, it's stretched out quite a bit. Let's put in some stuff, some heavy stuff. So we have a metal water-filled mug, a food container, a fan to keep this Scottish fold cool, and a bulky jacket. Alright, so yeah, this thing has a pretty high capacity, and the elastic, even though it's quite full and stretched around this cabin here, it's still pretty good. Again, though, I do question how strong these plastic bits are. I don't see them flexing really, but I wouldn't go putting in a bunch of bricks. But for regular shopping, well, I wouldn't put a lot of groceries in there. I wouldn't put a watermelon in there, but yeah, I think it seems pretty good for the price. It was only a few dollars. As you can see. Alright, so that's a really inexpensive option. But there's not much organization there. You're going to have to rifle around, fish around. Obviously, with the netting, you can see what you're grabbing, so that's better than the last bag that I have. But here we have an actual organizer kind of mummy bag for baby supplies. But for me, I'm going to use it for cat supplies. So you got this brand here called Insular. And so let's open this up. Travel with love. Alright. So maybe this brand is actually sold at retail establishments because it's got the hang tag. Maybe this is a copy? I don't know. Or extra production? Not sure. But this is printed on. Then we have a sewn on star. The stitching seems pretty clean. It's, consistently along this edge. It's even got a Y pattern here, so that's pretty thoughtful. A lazy company would just have this one stitch and maybe double it over a few times, but this one they're distributing the load along a triangle, and it's still on the top edge, double stitched at least. So that's pretty smart, but it allows the pockets to expand, it looks like, so tissues and whatnot. The zippers, they're just generic zippers, it looks like. I don't see any YKK on there. Obviously being new, pretty smooth. Then we have some nylon webbing, maybe, I don't know, 40 millimeters. Just guessing, I don't know. It's over an inch wide though for sure. And then here we have a plastic buckle, which probably goes around something, but where's the other half? I don't know. Or this is, I think, what happens. The shoulder strap, which you can obviously adjust for length with the slide buckle here. But I think if you undo this, now the shoulder strap, half of it goes to the one side and the other half goes to the other side. So that's actually pretty smart. That shoulder strap becomes the straps to put it on the cart itself. I like that. And then there's still straps on the bottom. Or what's going on? Oh, this is a backpack also. Alright, I've actually put the backpack on and extended the straps to the maximum. I weigh like I weigh 86 kilos, so 200 pounds, something in that ballpark. Anyways, you could be a really big person and put this on as a backpack. You could also shrink the straps down and be a small person. But here, if you see the distance, right, you can put it right at high or super low, which doesn't make much sense. The shoulder strap, let's see, it's in its smallest configuration here, so it's more like a long handle, but let's extend this out. Actually, that's not the shortest configuration because you can pull this tab in. The shoulder strap, though, is not very long, it seems. Still works, but, and then if you're a smaller person, you could suck this part in as well as the other side and have a pretty short strap. Alright, it works well enough, you know. It's meant to be on a stroller. So it's nice to have 3 ways to carry this. On the stroller, on your shoulder, or as a backpack. I filled it up with a bunch of stuff, and as you can see, it's quite large. This is 14 inches wide or 36 centimeters wide. The depth of this is roughly 8 inches or 20 centimeters. And the height of this is roughly 30 centimeters or a foot or 30 centimeters. So it's actually quite a large bag to be putting on a stroller. This could actually fit documents in if you wanted to. You got these big side pockets, so you can obviously put in some larger objects here, like a 1.2 liter, I think this container is. So that would easily hold a mug or something like that, you know, a travel mug. Although the elastic will eventually wear out. This is a really, I think, a cheap bag, so I'm quite impressed. As you can see, there is a regular handle here, and it's stitched with an X and square pattern, so a decent amount of stitching. I think, nah, I don't think it's double stitched right there. Anyways, as you can see, there's a little strap to hold, I don't know, car keys perhaps, or some other item. And the zipper, well, works well enough. It's almost like a cooler, but it's not. There is foam to give it a little bit of structure, but it's not a cooler. So here's some craziness. A full box of tissues, a 1 liter food container, and so you have these pockets here on this front, that puffy jacket, that mug again, so you have 2 other pockets on that back side, that fan. I guess that's it. You got 4 pockets in there, and you got that gray strap here for something, and this doesn't have any sort of pocket, the underside here. So the fabric is a little bit lighter than the outside, should be a little bit easier to see stuff. I almost wish the fabric was brighter than this, so it'd be really easy to see what's at the bottom of this thing. But they went and sewed over all the seams as well, so that's nice. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Alright, so I guess you could tuck away in backpack mode. These straps could go into these little elasticated pockets. But let me put this on the stroller. So I took the top basket off because it's colliding a bit. And now the backpack straps are at the tightest formation. And one thing that could have been better is if they had quick releases on these straps, so then you could really secure it to some part of your baby carriage or pet stroller. I did notice though, it is double stitched at the bottom of one of these straps, so it's quite strong it seems. That's nice thick stitching. But anyways, as far as putting it on a stroller, I right now just have it the shoulder strap hanging over the whole handle. But again, you could undo it, which I'll do next. But if you have it really high up, it's going to be hard, maybe a little more difficult to open this bag because the strap is in the way. So let me see about the other scenario. So this side strap, goes on no problem. But I noticed the other half of the shoulder strap, you'll see how they put the webbing through. So it's kind of hard to tighten because when you put it around here, the webbing is on the inside. If that bothers you, I guess you could just flip this over. You'll have to take the webbing out and flip this over. The only issue I see with that is if you do flip this over, when you use it as a shoulder strap, this plastic is going to dig into your shoulder. So I'm going to actually leave it the way it is. So yeah, I wrapped the webbing around the frame a couple times to get it really tight up there. But now you have total access to the zippers. And yeah, you can unzip it, of course. So it works pretty well. The straps you can adjust higher or lower, and it seems to hold a massive amount of stuff. So I think it's pretty good. Okay, back to how I'm going to run it with both cats in there. Yeah, it still works pretty well. And fortunately, since it has a double zipper, as long as it has the double zippers in the middle, when it's closed, it's pretty easy to open up, right? Just don't go all the way back. Otherwise, you got to go in there and grab it, which might be a little difficult with that big cat thing there. All right, so that's it for today. Another random product review. If you like it, buy it. If you don't. Doesn't really matter to me, but I just like to show, good products, and I think for the money, it's pretty good. Bear in mind, it was a cheap product, so these are not going to be the strongest buckles. These are not going to be the best zippers. It's only a matter of time, I think, until these zippers go bad. But again, you get what you pay for, and I think I actually got a pretty decent deal out of this. We'll see you the next time around. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your pets.